Not the pasta. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Horde of Tales. Tonight, we are very happy to be sponsored by Evil Hat Productions themselves for this game of Monster of the Week that we're going to be calling Colourless. Please feel free to click on the link in chat to support our incredible cast, who we will be meeting very soon, and to get these super fun and very good and very spooky games. Here are some early content warnings. Just because they come up here doesn't mean that they're going to come up in today's episode, but they could come up in future ones. Oh, I hit my mic. They could come up in future ones, or they could come up, down the line. We might hit some, we might hit none, but it's good to know in advance. Your early content warnings are psychological horror, great start, violence, blood, swearing, and themes of regarding a loss of identity. But with that all being said, my name is Apollo. I will be your keeper for this evening, and let's meet our players. Tandai, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Tendai, they, them pronouns, and I'm looking forward to playing this game. I love Monster of the Week. This is probably my second game playing it, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Heck yeah, Kestrel.
Hi, I'm Kestrel, I use she, they pronouns. Happy to be here.
I love the little boogie and the little shimmy. Everyone needs to give
Okay,
you a little
so
shimmy every
like-
now and then. And Nathan.
Hi, I'm your androgynous android game host from the future, Nathan Blades. He, they pronouns. It is a pleasure to be here today.
In the future episodes, we will have a fourth player. Lola is not with us today, but we'll see how they got involved.
Mystery.
Ooh.
Are we good to go, guys?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
As ever.
Let's go. I invite you all to imagine a bird soaring through the sky. Clouds beneath, sun above, nothing but endless horizon, nothing but endless opportunity. We dive down through the clouds over a small town south of London, a commuter town. A town that, up to very recently, was just one of these other towns, ubiquitous, nothing too special about it. The small town of Nortonsbury. Nortonsbury can't be called more than just one very big street. It was built around a central main street where all the major buildings and services are based around, with then just sprawling little suburbs and estates and all the little things that make up the community part of a community. Centered in this town, it is currently Wednesday, and a couple of news vans are parked in the very city center as an interview is being conducted. A couple of months ago, some of the city organizers submitted for a competition for small towns to be uplifted and to be put more into the limelight of the towns surrounding London, because let's face it, when you're in the shadow of such a big city, it can be easy to be drowned out. But Nortonsbury very proudly said, not us, not today, not anytime soon. Nortonsbury is a town that is proud of how many different people have flocked to its homes. Peoples of different religions, ethnicities, creeds, gender, sexuality. This small town is the exact opposite of what small town syndrome usually represents in the world. It is a place of inclusivity, and this year, this weekend more than anything, they are going to put on the biggest pride parade and weekend long celebration that they ever have. And they're getting their butts in gear. On the main road, we see a tall woman. She has calloused hands and is a little bit camera shy, as she doesn't really know what to say in front of a camera. This is one Amanda James, the owner of The Courtroom, what up till recently was just the only small gay pub in town. It's the only one. Now, after this, a couple more have popped up, but real ones know that she was the first. Amanda is giving an interview to this news team, and everybody, including the news anchor, can tell that this is just, she's so out of her comfort zone. The newswoman brings the mic up and says, "Wow, Amanda, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, first a meteor shower that hasn't been seen in almost 30 years to usher in this Pride event. And now you guys being given the most amount of money this grant can give to put on the biggest event in this town's history. How does it feel?" You see Amanda just sort of panic and go, pretty good. Pretty good. Yep, it feels good. And do we want to talk about why it feels good? Do you think it's going to do well for the community? What parts of this beautiful town are you looking forward to being uplifted? Kids are very talented here. They're going to be putting on a little musical performance, and there's floats. I have alcohol and I need some. And when she says that, the newswoman kind of takes the microphone away as they continue on their little thing. A few minutes later, Amanda opens the door to a shop. Hey, Nathan. Hey, bestie. Could you please describe to me what the antique curio shop, Pages of Paradiso, looks like?
Yes, the Pages of Paradiso is something that you'd find in any kind of like small English town. It's ostensibly an antique shop, but also a second-hand shop, also a bookshop. It does seem to deal primarily in books, in fact, with a scattering of silverware and crockery, and maybe even the odd piece of jewelry. It's definitely been there a very long time. And the people who've been running it have been running it for reasonably long time. It is owned and run by one Robert Clark, 52, a salt and peppered black man sitting currently behind the kind of like front desk of the Paradiso, going over this morning's crossword. They're about 80% of the way through. They have time for a chat.
The door chimes open as Amanda just kind of walks in and says, "They can never make me do that again."
Miss James, good afternoon. I'm props to you for being able to step up to the plate.
It should be you. It should be you. You've been in this community for so much time.
It's fine, but I know what does well on TV. You know, this body of mine isn't really what the kids want to see.
Have you been on the internet lately? I disagree.
I try my best to not be on my phone during working hours. Is there something I can do for you other than give you a bit of safe haven away from the TV cameras?
I think I need to hide here until the camera crew leaves. I
Absolutely.
think if I go outside, they might ask me more questions, and I know that they're doing other segments now, and they've probably already gone back to the studio, but I don't think I can deal with this.
Right. That's fine. He gets up from behind the desk, gives one last glance at the newspaper. Oh, ballyhoo! That was the word I was missing. I'll get back to it. Goes over to the front door and kind of turns the little placard from open to closed.
You are my savior.
I always like hearing that. Now, would you like the Darjeeling again, or shall we go for the Lapsang Souchong?
Ooh. You know I can't say no to you. Both. As you start getting everything ready, and as you just kind of sit down and just kind of start chatting, business is a little bit slow today. You know that a lot of the community center, the community center is working on a lot of their things. Some of the kids are actually painting a mural in one of like the major older buildings that's not fit for use anymore. So it's now just kind of like a place that they use the outside walls for big murals every few months or every couple of years or so. Words, murals. Sorry, my mother's like right outside my window. I don't know what's going on.
while you're rebooting, I
Yes,
think
that's
there's
right.
probably been multiple efforts of like the elders
yeah.
in Nortonsbury trying to guide that process of painting. Have you ever tried to teach an 8-year-old color theory? It's difficult.
It really is. It really is. As you get all this ready, you see that she says, "Oh, 1 second, I have to take a call." Yep. She goes off, and I'm gonna give the table free reign. Nathan, describe how your personal study looks like, as I'm gonna go open the door for my mom who forgot her keys.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can paint the space and we'll make it a collaborative. Everybody
You
please
have 2
chime in
minutes
with
on the
additional
clock. Go.
details. I think we get like the kind of zooming in shot of Robert Clark opening the door to his personal study as the camera kind of moves in, and it's a very cozy wooden floorboard, kind of polished, varnished into kind of like a deep brown red kind of affair. Big green tasseled carpet kind of covers most of the floor space with a desk. That kind of bottle green and brass lamp that you see in every kind of old school study space, that kind of energy. There is a tea making setup. It is probably the messiest thing in the room, actually. There are multiple pots of sugars and honeys and loose leaf teas and a tray over to the side that is clearly designed to wash up after you're done, and it hasn't been washed for today, so there are teacups that are stacked high. He'll get to it. It's fine. It's for when the shop closes.
Honestly, that's so real. As you get all this done, you give a glance to just a book on astrology. No, recent meteor showers. It's fun. You can't help but have a quick little glance at your little star charts and the movements of the celestial bodies, especially like 18th century manuscripts or like even older. You're like, damn, the Phoenicians had it right all along. You have a look at those, which come out. You get the tea ready, and Amanda says, "I'm so sorry about that. I'm gonna have to cancel tonight's performance."
Oh, I mean, is there something that would be obstructing running the courtroom this evening?
Something the meteor shower. I don't understand space. What do you mean that things are passing? But I don't know. Something hit a cell tower, telephone tower, and I need to go help out, fix. I need to go help my brother fix some stuff. If not, the internet might be out for the weekend, and I'd rather lose tonight's performance than lose the weekend, you know?
No, I understand. We've been very fortunate that we've barely ever missed a Wednesday night in the last handful of years. So I suppose we would do.
This will be historic. People might weep.
Oh, I mean, a Wednesday evening without antiquity is not a Wednesday evening at all. But we managed to find our solaces one way or another. He pulls out his smartphone, which, he says he tries not to check while in, and looks at the reception. 0 bars. Well,
Absolutely 0 bars. Now, I'll leave it up to you to figure out if that's because of the cell tower or because you have a janky ass phone.
An interesting coincidence. He
Interesting coincidence. Okay, perfect.
glances
yeah, sure.
over his shoulder out at the news van outside. If there's no signal, I suppose this is a pre-record then?
She looks at you. She says, I know liquor. I don't know whatever the hell this is." You see that as she points to them, they do start to the van to start to drive away. She says, okay, well, I'm gonna go pick up some stuff in my place, and then I'm gonna go out to the forest to get that sorted out by the cell tower. Will you do me a favor?
Of course, anything.
Will you let Chenge know that I won't be needing the big order of pastries for tonight?
Right. Of course. I suppose I'll be paying her a visit. directly then, since my phone isn't working. Mind how you go?
Oh, of course. Take care, love. As she leaves, the chime door chimes again, and as you get yourself sorted, do whatever you have to do for the rest of your day, up until whenever you see fit to go visit uh, Chang'e. We go over to the shop that is directly opposite you on this main street. And Tendai, could you please do me the favor of describing and naming your establishment?
Awesome. So as you're walking up to this building, it looks very nice, quaint, small. The front tends to match the rest of the main street. And you see a sign just over the doorway that says nibbles and things
Oh, beautiful.
in a mixture of super sans serif font, minimalistic, modern, and things is very flowy calligraphy. And the sign in itself, it's very plain. It's on a nice kind of wooden oak, but with burnt in lettering, and as you walk in, you are almost accosted by a mixture of different styles inside of this place.
Hmm.
So it's like somebody could not make a decision as to how they wanted the vibes to be. So it's actually just a mixture of different aesthetics. In one corner, you have a very gothic romantic vibe, some nice cathedral style windows, arches,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dark cushions, red velvet, the whole shebang. And then next to that, you have something that looks like it could have stepped out of a Fay Glen. It's green, it's lush. It looks like the couches are covered in a fake sort of moss. The pillows look like leaves. And then you have something that looks like it could be a maximalist dream house. There's just an explosion of everything, and there's just different corners in this place that kind of go with different vibes, and you can see that there's different people kind of perched in their little areas looking comfortable that seem to match the vibes. And behind the counter you see a not super tall, pretty curvy person with the hair pulled back in a high ponytail, curls just kind of like rippling from it. They have their sleeves rolled up, so three-quarter sleeves, tattoos, lots of facial piercings, and they're wearing round glasses that look very similar to Gary Oldman's glasses in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So very round, and they are grinning from ear to ear. They look super happy what they're doing. They're making plates of food. The counter is covered in all sorts of pastries, gluten free, dairy free, chocolate, caramel, anything you can think of that can be baked. They bake it, and they seem so happy with what they're doing, and they they seem to have an eye for absolutely everything that's going on. If anyone is finishing up a drink, all of a sudden there's somebody going to that table to deal with it before they even need to ask. And
Perfect.
as you walk in, there's a little tinkling of the door, and their head snaps up, and their eyes land on Robert. And
I
yeah.
will say this is going to be a little bit before Robert arrives.
Okay, cool,
Ooh.
cool. Sorry.
So, somebody does walk in the door,
Mhm.
and you see that it's this Middle Eastern kid. He's like first, maybe first, second, like generation immigrant. His name is Henry.
Mhm.
Um, he walks in and he has a full Howl cosplay from Howl's Moving Castle on,
Yeah.
and he walks up and he says, "Hi, hi, Chang'e. How are you?
Hi, Henry. I'm good. What's up?
Is it okay if I use some of the sections of the shop just as a backdrop? I want to get some photos in the new cosplay I made."
Oh, of course. Do you need a tripod, a ring light?
I got it. And he just like lifts up a little like sports bag. It's
Of
like it's
course,
all
you're
in here.
prepared. Go ahead. Yeah. No, that should be all clear for you.
Yes. I will also ask for a coffee and whatever pastry you think I would like.
Ooh, whatever pastry I think you will like. You don't have any nut allergies, do you?
Not that I know of.
Okay, a pistachio beignet on the way.
This is when he finds out. No.
Don't worry, I've got a stash for EpiPens.
Well, that just implies that you're just ready to adrenaline someone at any given moment.
Can't have people dying in the cafe. It's not good for business.
You know what? That's so real, actually. Yeah, no. Yeah, see this kid just kind of sets up. They just start posing, doing their thing. It's a very Henry isn't the only patron right now. Like there's a gaggle of teenagers, I think is the correct taxonomical term for a group of teenagers. A gaggle.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a gaggle of teens from the local school. There's a few people just at laptops, just working at their own thing, just sipping away at coffees. As you feel the energy here,
Mm-hmm.
you start to salivate just a little, and you start to get a little bit hungry, and you feel in this moment that you can feel the energy in the room as tangibly as food in your hands or a glass of water. Where in this room are you going to dip that glass to nourish yourself on just a little bit of those emotions?
So Chenge would be looking around at the different groups and they
Mhm.
would try to avoid the kids because they haven't really been buying a lot and also they're young. For them, that's just like a morally no-no zone.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they're going to look at some of the older patrons who are kind of sitting down, who've had a few cups of coffee, and they're kind of dipping their toe in to see who has a bit more energy to spare today and what can I, reciprocate, give them on their way out to kind of make it an equal exchange. And they're going to go for like a lady who's kind of sitting in the corner. She seems to be just chilling out, enjoying her day, like feeling really happy about whatever she's watching. It could be cat videos, could be good news, not a clue. And I'm just gonna start like siphoning just a tiny bit of
Yeah.
that. Never too much, but a little bit.
Mhm. As you start to look around, there's this person who's sitting in like one of the corners. Um, I'm gonna just call out like every art student that there has ever been.
Mhm.
They are a college student who is doing like their last semester from home,
Hmm.
and they're a history major. Their name is Bunny,
Ah, yes.
and they're this femme presenting non-binary person, and Bunny is just typing away at at a laptop. There is a stack of empty cups of coffee that is matched by the empty stack of energy drinks that they have also purchased. As they are typing frantically at a computer, you know that they've been working on this like dissertation to end their undergrad,
Hmm.
and it is probably some of the most insightful and critical writing that they have ever done in their 3-4 years at university. And what you feel from them is just pure energy and pure enthusiasm to finally get all their hyperfixations out into the world in an academic sense.
Oh, nice.
You can tell that they use like she they pronouns. You can tell that she's writing the first draft, which is always what Bunny refers to as the chaos draft,
Hmm.
which is where she writes in shorthand, writes it as she would speak it, and uses like slang, anything. So like the royals said that the people didn't believe this. They were capped. They were capping and they were lying and they deserve to die, which they did, which is good. But anyway, and you can tell that they're in that headspace of I just need
Hmm.
to get everything on a page and then I can go
Mm.
through it and actually clear it down. And as you begin to receive that enthusiasm and receive that enthusiasm and receive that energy, you can tell that one of the only reasons that Bunny was able to get into such a productive and forward and energetic headspace is that they are surrounded by a space that is just encouraging that everywhere they look. This could be a haven for people who are very texture oriented. You know, they have a velvet cushion just on their lap, and every now and then they just, you know, give it a little bit of a rub, get a little like happy, do a little happy jiggle, and then they just go back to writing. And you can tell that you have given them an environment where they feel safe to express themselves and let their truest self be. And sitting at another table is someone who you know, a friend of yours. Kestrel, could you please describe Rosie?
Yeah, sitting in one corner of this little cafe, sort of rubbing at a stain on her denim boiler suit, with her sleeve that mysteriously got there somehow, is this like sort of late 20s, dark-skinned woman with like a shaved head. She just sort of looks she doesn't the opposite of focused. She looks like she has a lot of free time on her hands. It's just sort of chilling out.
As you're chilling out, you look to your bag that's just on the floor, like next to your foot, just resting up against your leg, and an envelope that you forgot you put in there is just peeking out.
Oh, what's this? Reaches in, grabs it, takes a look at it.
Says, "Dear Rosie, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm sorry that I'm not able to discuss this with you in person as I am away on business, but I have been informed that the kids absolutely love your music lessons. It's been an absolute treasure and a treat to have you at our center these past couple months, and we would be absolutely delighted to invite you on as a permanent staff member of the community center to, if you would feel so inclined as to make your music classes something more regular, more structured, and more creatively your own. Please let me know what you would like to do, ideally by the end of the month, so that we can get all the paperwork sorted out and we can start out the next academic year for the kids, advertising your services to the local schools. All the best," and it's signed by the director of the community center.
Very quickly folds that up and puts it back into her bag. Okay. Excuse me, Chenge, could I get another croissant or something?
Of course. Changa is going to kind of look behind the counter, grab a croissant and a couple of small things because they tend to like to use Rosie as a bit of a taster for for some of their experiments, and they're
Real.
obviously going to pick up on this like peak of energy from that corner, and they're going to
Mm,
they're going to come over with the tray to clear off Bunny's table as well, and they're going to stand there with like they look like they're glowing. So they tend to wear a lot of like glittery sort of like body oils. And they're just standing there and they're like grinning, kind of like, so everything okay?
Rosie is the complete opposite right now. Um, she has a very chill sort of demeanor about her, but even now, like, I think you could tell, especially that there's sort of an anxious energy about her. But she like reclines back in her chair, and as you approach, she like wipes off a couple more crumbs from like her shoulders, like, yeah, I'm all good. Just having a really digging into some of your goods here. Good as always. Thank you so much for the selection.
You're very welcome.
Got an interesting letter from the director of the community center about some of the classes I've been doing, and it looks like I've been given a position to do some of the music classes, which has been a it's been a fun little gig that I got. So
Oh,
you know,
wow.
I don't loathe the idea of doing more of it. The kids are really sweet.
As
But
you say that, you actually do notice that some from the gaggle, which will remain unnamed.
the gaggle.
I I'm bad at picking, just making NPC names. So some of the children from the eponymous gaggle of teenagers are definitely kids that you have taught, and you know that anytime they see you in town, they just kind of give you a little wave. Some of the more energetic ones will like play a little bit of air guitar when they pass you. Yeah, but a few of them are just there. They're still chatting, doing their own thing.
Yeah. Oh, bless them. They're a good bunch.
Well, you don't seem too taken by the offer. I know you don't like to be locked down to places, but I thought you were happy here, no?
Oh, no, this place is lovely.
It's also boring, dead boring. I know.
Real.
uh, I I didn't really picture myself as much of a person that stayed in one place. Haven't really done so for the last decade since I've left home. So it would be new to be in one place for a long time, and honestly, I thought I was just sort of winging most of the classes I taught, so I didn't think people would take to it so quickly and so deeply. Um, but as boring as this place is, it's nice. It's got its charm.
Hmm.
I'll just have to think about it a little bit.
Of course. Like what you've done, and I've heard the Horde speak of some of your classes, and it's new, it's exciting. Like I said, this place can be fairly dull, so no wonder they want to keep you, but you can always make you can always negotiate the terms. You don't have to accept what they're offering you. If you want to be able to travel, you can make it a case of, oh, every few months or once a year I'm back for a certain period of time and then you're off again. But it's all up to you, Rosie. You don't have to
Uh,
settle for something that's not you.
that's very sweet of you. These kids deserve a bit of stability, I think, and I just don't know if I can be the one to give them that. So I'll think on that.
All they get is stability here. Stability day in, day out, morning, noon, night. They could do with a bit less stability in their lives. I'm sure that's what they love about your classes. But
Okay.
yeah, no.
I
Whatever
mean,
you
is he?
just whatever you decide, I'm always backing you up.
As you're thinking about this and you're thinking about your classes and what you've done, as you I think creatives, we have a tendency to kind of downplay our own achievements because we're like, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about the things that I've done. Oh no. um, what do you think was the first moment that Rosie enacted like a visible, not fully a change, but saw the inspiration light up in someone's eyes in the town?
Oh, interesting. Um, I think before she formally started teaching like music lessons at the community center, I think she was just busking one night to get a little bit of cash for some food, and had this kid just sort of like walking home from school on their own, stop by and just sort of like watch her. And to Rosie, it is second nature to express yourself through whatever art form speaks to you. Uh, so much so that she'd forgotten what it was like to be on the audience's end of things, where you're watching something new for the first time, something as menial, as simple as just like somebody like with a acoustic guitar on the side of the street,
Mhm.
but to like some kid like who had never seen this before, she saw in like their eyes this look of wonder, this look of discovery that she knew she felt back when she first started getting into music. And I think that's when she first saw the light of inspiration, like this little kid's eyes, here in Nortonsbury.
Heck yeah. As you are thinking about this kid, you actually see him enter. See, this kid, he can't be more than like 15, 16 years old. He is one of the gaggle. But he arrived late. He arrived late to the gaggle.
It's my little guy.
The council will decide his fate. However, you see him. He's this Nigerian kid. He has like a dark, very dark skin. He comes up to you and he says, Rosie, guess what?
What's up?
I spoke to my mom. My mom and my aunt are gonna help me out for the parade.
No way. That's incredible.
Yeah. My auntie came back from Nigeria on a trip, and she brought back like these enormous like slit drum that she brought from home. And my mom actually used to play it when she was younger, but she fully forgot about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we have a couple slit drums in the house, and we spoke to the marching band, and I don't know how we did it, but we just kind of convinced them to let us play with their drum section. So they actually said that they might like the last minute impromptu make a full like nations of the world section for the back of the behind the marching band where I've been talking to some of the kids, some of the people in my school were because we had a culture day a couple weeks ago. We actually still have all this stuff just in one of the rooms. We haven't put it away yet. So, and he starts going into all the plans at the school, all the kids of all the different nationalities and different countries and backgrounds, just how they're all going to start pooling into this big weekend long celebration of pride and extending it to even pride in one's upbringing, pride in one's family and one's ancestry, and how they're all going to bring it in there. And I think for a second you get to be faced with the direct consequence of you inspiring someone. How's that feel? Welcome to Dice. Welcome to Dice Induced Therapy.
Rosie just sort of some of that anxiety sort of washes away. She's like sitting and listening to this kid just talk with such fervor and passion about what it is that they're going to be contributing to this Pride Festival. And she just says like, well, congratulations. It's incredible. I wish I could be doing something that cool when I was your age.
That's all thanks to you. Are you going to be doing anything for the festival?
Oh, I mean, I might be helping out with some sound tech stuff. If I got some time, I might like come in with some of the music performers. But dude, I'm taking a back seat for the most part. It's not my time to shine. It's all your kids' time to shine.
Okay. I'll wave at you from the parade. And he quickly like runs and joins the gaggle, and he kind of like
Better.
just because I saw it in the chat, he actually pushes past like two twins, Honk and Hank.
Okay, that's canon.
Honk and Honk and Hank are canon. It's their nicknames.
Mhm.
I love it.
Honk and Hank, members of the gaggle. He pushes past the twins, and he just kind of like crowds around this phone as they all seem to be watching like some YouTube video or something that's been sent into a group chat. You can't tell. At that moment, Robert walks in.
Robert was outside the Nibbles and Things for a hot second, finishing his cigarette. He smokes once a day. His late husband never liked it, but he's not around, so. Yeah. With it kind of extinguished and the butt closed in this little kind of like metal box that he keeps the stubs in. He kind of enters the Nibbles and Things with the bell ringing as the door moves. Ms. Chengatai?
Uncle Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Ty's gonna like bounce over and just kind of like, I'll be back, Rosie. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, my dear. I hope you're having a pleasant afternoon.
It's busy. It's great. It's very satisfying.
Ah, well, I am glad you and the rest of the community can remain, I suppose, nourished. Although, speaking of nourishment, unfortunately, your order of pastries for today has been cancelled.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I suppose I'll probably have to give some away.
You see, everyone in the gaggle just goes. They all turn their heads, looking at you, just giving you a curious side eye, like they're definitely eavesdropping, but trying to pretend like they're not. Like,
Oh yeah, the soundtrack of this prestige TV show like dips as they simultaneously look at once.
record scratch.
What?
There's
Free?
some over here too.
Well, it seems like you have plenty more energy to spare. If there is additional pastries going, I would love a cinnamon swirl or two.
Oh, of course. Back with you in a second. And Chengatai is not going to go around the counter like a typical person. They're going to vault this counter.
Mhm.
Just one arm down, vault over it, and they're going to start getting a few pastries together. So they're going to try and get a nice combination of all the like cinnamon flavored stuff they have, and just have like one last sweep and throw in a couple of extras, and then also quite a helping of those cancelled desserts, and say, I know people come over for a lovely cup of tea. Feel free to give some of these away. So it'd be a shame for them to go to waste.
Mm. While you're being essentially crowded by the gaggle of teens, Robert goes over to the table that Rosie is at and kind of, spins one of the chairs and sits down. Good afternoon, Rosie.
Hey, Rob. She brings her plate of pastries closer to her. She huddles over them. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, it seems that I am going to be spending my Wednesday evening off for the first time in a few years.
Get out.
As you realize that today has been canceled, one of the many like little small audio related gigs that you work would be like doing the sound tech for the weekly drag shows. So yeah, this also means that tonight that won't be going on your end of things.
So am I not getting paid for tonight then?
I don't believe I will be either, so we're both out of work.
That's right. I'll spend this evening just hanging out then.
I suppose if you do have the energy for maintaining some things, you have the work mindset with you, there is some text organization I could do with a hand with. You've been roped into a text organization before. It is a coin flip between finding something fascinating enough to get Robert to also be obsessed with looking through it and no work gets done, or it is the most boring evening you could possibly think of.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a 50-50 chance of it being either.
She pauses for a moment, like, am I gonna regret saying yes to this?
I would say that my collection of books is always fascinating. And we did get a number of recent donations from the next town over. They're all the same color, which is strange.
Your idea of a good donation could put the dead to sleep. But I've got nothing else to do today, so
Bang. Mean.
Shade.
Shade.
Robert stares at you, and you know that he understood that you insulted him, but has kept his face entirely placid to just sandbag the attempt at trying to get under his skin. So I'm going to go and take that as a yes then.
yeah. I mean, it's always fun hanging out with you anyway. Even if the company you keep is old tomes and weird little trinkets.
As part of my day job, yes, but I know that there are even instances where, while you may have the Greek chorus, he says, gesturing, and in middle ground, the group of teens kind of clamoring for some croissants. Well, you do have the attention of the Greek chorus on a semi-regular basis. Every so often, they do feel that there is a problem that they can't even come to you with.
Ooh, shade.
I don't go
Mm,
there. Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
make
have me
myself some popcorn real quick.
there.
he is scalding.
I don't intend to be pointed, Rosie. I'm just saying that we all do our own part in keeping the community running.
Absolutely. As you say that, you do hear that the gaggle have stopped. I like how we've started just calling them the gaggle. Anyway,
It
the
works so
gaggle
well.
have stopped munching loudly on their croissants and pastries, and you start hearing just like hushed whispers, and more you see that other patrons have started to go over and like see what they're looking at. And you see someone is just aliens. No, that's ridiculous. You're dumb. And someone just gets bonked on the head. Hank gets bonked on the head as he says aliens. People are talking about like, oh, is that a drone that crashed? What is that? As people are like, gathering around this phone and being very conspiratorial.
Mm.
Looks like the
Hmm.
Greek chorus have something to sing.
w-
The
What?
Greek chorus are getting signal, apparently.
Check your phone.
Uh-huh.
0 bars.
He pulls out his phone and double checks.
0 bars. It
Mhm.
might just be you.
Chenga is gonna kind of like lean over the counter and say, "What's happened?"
It's- do you want Honk or Hank to respond?
Honk.
And says, "Oh yeah, that's his voice." Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
I really thought I was going to be serious for this series. Honk says, "Oh yeah, look, there's something crashed." You see that it's like a handheld POV of someone who's like recording on their phone as
Mhm.
they're walking up. You see it's the I don't think immediately it's very obvious where it is, but it's somewhere up in the hills, like behind the town,
Mhm.
in the direction of where definitely in the direction facing where the meteor shower was. But you see that like a couple of trees are bent, some are like fully fallen over. And it's a video uploaded to YouTube. That says mysterious object crashed into woods. That's in all, and then in all caps, aliens? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. And it's very inconclusive. Like you look at it, it's very shaky cam type thing.
Mhm.
But there's definitely like something weird going on there. There's something that's crashed. It looks probably metallic, but also maybe just like a big old rock that's just a little bit shiny. There's a small blast impact radius because whatever this is, either it fell from beyond the atmosphere if it was part of the meteor shower, or it just fell from a big enough height to create a bit of a blast. But you see, the interesting thing is that the video is entirely in black and white.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh wow.
You see Honk say, Hank thinks it's aliens, but that's dumb.
Well, there's so much we don't know about the universe. It's not dumb to think that there's other possibilities, But why would you shoot a video like that in black and white?
Hank from the back says, exactly. That's his voice. Just extremely nasally. I hope that picked up on the mic.
Oh no, it caught.
Yeah.
Caught.
Okay. I really hope.
uh,
Yeah, but you see they just evolve into arguing again. Anybody who wants to, they seem to have just this video like on a loop. Are you focusing on anything in the video? Does the
Oh.
video draw your attention?
I'll even look at the video for sure.
No,
Yeah,
I
if anybody
definitely
would
at this
like to
point you
make
get
like
up and look
any
over.
Yeah, if anybody wants to give me like any sort of moves, I'll let you tell me what you want
yes.
to
Yes,
try do.
please. I've been eyeing up the investigator mystery move.
I knew you would. I knew
I'm
you would.
definitely looking to Robert right now. Like, this seems like it's in your wheelhouse, right?
Yes, well, the unusual apocrypha is something of a fascination of mine. He gets up. He's reasonably tall, and so as they're kind of like clamoring over the phone, he just like reaches over and picks it out of Hank's hands.
100 tiny hands go, no.
It's
Don't worry,
fine.
kids,
It's
you'll get it back
fine. I
soon.
won't
Don't worry.
break it. Give me a moment. And then we'll go roll 2d6 plus sharp.
Yes, so investigate a mystery. For those who don't know, Monster of the Week, investigate a mystery is one of the basic moves that our players who will soon enough we'll start to call them hunters soon enough as they are hunting down this Monster of the Week. When you investigate a mystery, roll plus sharp. So you're rolling your 2d6 because that's the dice that we roll. Plus you're adding whatever you add to sharp. Yeah, that's what you're rolling.
I rolled in a 6 and a 2 for an 8, plus my sharp of 2 for a 10.
Oh, dang. Incredible. All right. On a 10 plus, hold 2. One hold can be spent to ask the keeper one of the following questions. So, what happened here? What sort of creature is this? What can it do? Can it hurt you? Where did it go? And all this is very very tracking type things. So, you can ask me 2 questions about this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and hold. I'll spend one of those now because we can spend hold whenever we like, and I would like to be there in person. We're gonna spend for now though. What is being concealed here?
Oh, what is being concealed here? I think that the angle that this is being captured at, what you're seeing, like nature-wise, is all that is probably there. The only thing that could be concealed is that for a brief, couple frames, you see the edge of a warning high voltage sign. This is up by one of the telephone towers. So what is being concealed here is the exact location, which is up by the telephone towers. There's one major one towards the back, which is coincidentally where Amanda said that she was going to go.
Indeed. Oh, I think I know where this might be. He gives the phone back to Hank and turns to Rosie. I think it's at room volume, so Chenge can also hear this. I suppose the book sorting this evening is going to be cancelled. There is something else that I would like to look into today. I could do with an extra hand or two.
Sure. I'm almost finished up here.
I mean, my evening's free, so I'm game. Yeah, let's go check this out.
There's no need to look so relieved, Rosie.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love your book so much. It's...
As you should. He cuts you off and starts to move towards the front door and kind of leaves. I suppose I can't remember whether in my character sheet I'm like, do I get a car? Who wants to have a car? What's the whip that we use?
What's the whip?
I have van marked down on my character sheet, forgetting that I wrote that it's broken down. So
you have a broken down van. That'll help you. Look, you're adults. Any one of you can have a car.
I'd probably say I'd have a car for making deliveries of pastries and all that jazz.
There are a couple small towns close enough by
that I'd be
also
driving
for home deliveries and stuff like that. And for community events up at the schools or community centers or whatever, you provide enough catering for stuff like that. Yeah. Is there anything that you guys want to do on your own time before you go? So before the shops start to close down at around 5:30, 7 p.m. by the time you're out after doing all your closing bits?
I'd probably there wouldn't be a whole lot. I just want to probably do a cleanup as well because I tend to run the place by myself. So I want to clean up all of the crumbs from the gaggle.
Dang. They felt that. Somehow they felt that.
Yeah, the emotional damage. I'm going to clean up all of the crumbs and also probably go to Bunny and just kind of do that lean on the table and be like, is there anything else I can get for you, Bunny? While you're here?
This is perfect. Bunny is very thankful to you. Bunny seems to have the first the chaos draft and the official 3/4 of the official first draft already done. Very productive day for Bunny.
Great.
Yeah, okay. So it's beginning to be evening time. It's June, so the sun hasn't started going down yet, but the descent is about to start within the next couple hours.
Mm.
You guys make your way up to the hills. As you make your way up, yeah, 100%. You know where the tower is. You can see that there is even approaching from a distance, you can see that there's some damage done to it. There are some quick fixes in place. There's like the remains of a little bit of scaffolding and stuff. But you do see that like the quick fixes are half done. Like
Mm.
the quick fixes themselves seem to have been not fully followed through on. The
Hmm.
hills are indeed alive with the sound of music. Um, yeah, the things aren't very followed through on. And as you walk up, you see that the trees themselves are getting like a little bit muted and a little bit bleached as you get closer.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
is the grass.
Oh.
Robert takes off his glasses, pulls a handkerchief and cleans them, and puts them back on and blinks a few times.
It's definitely not your glasses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to squat down and like peel off some of the bark if I can to just like put it in my hand. I'm like, this is not normal, right?
Somebody
Absolutely not.
doing an experimental art piece out here or something? This is a bit.
Oh well, it's it'll be some art piece like for this scale.
Well,
It
we haven't laid eyes on the thing that fell out of the sky. So
I guess.
maybe if we have a look at that, since that was in black and white. Don't
Yeah.
don't tell me they didn't film it in monochrome, but and he trails off, letting the thought hang in the air.
As you guys continue walking this path, you do start to see a couple trees that are bent, a couple fully felled down. And as you get closer and closer, you guys, you're wearing colorful clothes. All that is still there. The colors on yourselves are still there. But as you get closer and closer, it is as if you were. It would be as if in a TV show they went from realistic to muted to straight up black and white. And by the time you arrive at the base of the cell tower,
Hmm.
everything is in grayscale,
Oh,
except for you guys.
Mm.
Whoa.
I, f- Robert, this is. I know this is definitely more your wheelhouse, but should we alert somebody? This can't be healthy.
No. We should more importantly than noting the authorities. Uh, I do wonder if Ms. James is around. She said that she would be here doing repairs, and they don't seem to. Eyeing up towards the tower, the camera follows, looks at it, comes back down. They haven't quite finished what they were doing.
Oh, hold on. Um, if she's out here, let's make sure she's okay. Rosie just like walks on ahead a little bit and starts calling out for Amanda, like, Amanda, Amanda, are you out here?
You don't get any response back.
Uh,
Hmm.
Amanda, Chenge is going to start like really like, I don't like this. I don't like
Oh,
this at all.
I'll try and call her. Bring out my phone and see if I can, see if I have any cell service.
Is there
You
any
have cell service. You are right next to the cell tower.
Incredible.
is there
But
any
it
sort of
rings.
energy kind of coming through
Ooh,
aside from
okay.
Rosie and Robert? Is there any weird vibes I'm tasting?
Okay, we're doing a vibe check.
Is that read a bad situation?
That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right now. We're playing a little fast and loose with it, but could you give me a read a bad situation, please?
Yep. Da-da-da. So that is a 10.
Hey.
10.
Yep.
We'll use that as so 10. So that's hold 3. So do you just want to use 1 for this question, or do you have any? I'll give you this first.
Hmm.
Um, as somebody who has been very attuned to the emotions and energy of people, you can tell when somebody walks through a forest, they're thinking and they're feeling. And usually it'll be a very serene feeling of walking through nature.
Hmm.
When you arrive at construction sites, you get the feelings of people that are focused. Um, Here, specifically, the only thing you feel is absence.
Like
Like
just void, absence.
void. Specifically like it's been drained out of here.
Huh.
Like somebody who's extremely burnt out or just unmoved by whatever they're observing. There's just an absence here. Are people moving around as well?
Yeah, trying to
Absolutely.
kind of trying to like scope. I'm going to obviously going to concern me because they should be like, if somebody was out here repairing the tower, they would be that kind of sense of focus that I'd be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a complete lack, either no, they're not here, or
You can tell that there was hours ago, but this is like
so it's like a faint trail, is it?
there
Or
there's half of a faint trail around here.
ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I maybe either Amanda's not here, or I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe something's happened to them.
She's not picking up her phone.
As you're here, you actually do feel the other two,
Hmm.
and with their presence, it is sort of returning to the place. Like whatever was going on here wasn't permanent because now that it's coming back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. On the phone call, it rings, goes to voicemail.
Uh, yeah, no, put my phone away and say, yeah, she's not picking up. Uh, did she say she'd be out here for long? I mean, maybe she went back home or something.
She only mentioned that she was working with some others to do the repairs. She didn't say how many or what time she would be doing so, although it is, and by the time of evening, would be taking up her evening in its entirety. It wouldn't be possible to do any repairs while it's dark, I assume, so.
Mm-hmm. Because you said you've all been walking around,
Mm.
it's at this point as you start kind of like looking and seeing, you notice that it's a cell tower. It's pretty big. It takes a
Yeah.
while to do like a walk around the perimeter. You eventually get to like the epicenter of where the blast radius seems to be heading towards.
We can see the little high voltage fence in the background, like a match cut to the video.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
start walking around and you start seeing, you're like, oh, I know what this is. This is like the match cut of the video. There's the fence, there's the like broken sign. And you see that one of the lower wires just kind of like got a little bit bent, and one of the legs of the tower got a little bit bent inward, which is what's been throwing everything just slightly off.
Mhm.
Um, and it's that something crashed into it and fell into the ground. As you walk around to it, it looks like a really big, it looks like a rock the size of like a PC monitor screen. Something
Mm.
small enough, but also quite big, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it looks cracked. And if I will ask Chenge, do you want, if you expend another hold of your read about situation, I will give you
Yes.
more about this.
Yes, please.
This has the most nothing,
Ooh.
Mhm.
and it is broken and it is hollow on the inside.
So nothing at all. Now, would this nothing be akin to like a dead nothing? Or
Ooh, that's a very good question. Not a dead nothing, but giving such little signs of life that you may as well be.
Mm-hmm.
okay, dokie.
So I think I would, unless you have a follow-up to that, I think I might spend my other hold.
Okay, as you spend another hold, investigate a mystery. Yeah, give me a question.
Yeah, my first thought was what happened here, but I think that's pretty evident. What I am going to ask then is, where did it go?
Where did it go? That is beautiful and perfect, and thank you for that question. I'm gonna do a little retcon actually, and I'm gonna say that Amanda during the beginning had just a little hat on. It's like a little cap. She wears it back, like with like the she wears it backwards. Couple strands of hair usually fall out of it. It's a little bit messy. She just doesn't want to have to spend time doing her hair, so she's just like, oh, I'll just put it under a hat, and whatever happens, happens. Her hat is here. Her hat is in the ground here, and her hat, it's like red with white stripes in it. You can see the red and the white stripes in it. It is the only thing in this entire like small little pocket of area of nature that hasn't had the color bled out of it.
Okay.
I'll go and pick it up if that's possible.
Yeah, you pick it up. You see that it is like right next to where as you pick it up, you look up and you see that whatever this is was probably like lodged into the tower itself. There's a ladder that went up, and you see that you kind of piece together that whatever this was got lodged in the tower, and because of its disturbance when people tried to go up to fix it, something happened. It fell from the tower down to the ground, and something happened around here. You have the hat, and I will say, if you choose to like look at the this is okay with you, I'm gonna say that you probably would go up a couple rungs on that ladder.
That was my next place to go. Yeah.
Oh.
Caramelizing.
Mind meld.
You go up a couple runs at that ladder to look at the original like impact area. You don't see much. It looks like something like it's like when you throw like a soccer ball or something, football into like a tree, and it just gets stuck and then it just falls out.
Right. Yeah.
But from a higher vantage point, there's a trail of black and white nature that is going through the forest into the town.
Oh, from up on the rungs of the ladder, I point that out to the other two. Like, it looks like it's like someone's taken a big paintbrush and just sort of painting this sort of black and white thing down towards the town from up here.
Okay.
That's alarming.
This is going to be something that we need more research before we can tackle. I would advise we do not touch the, I'm going to call it vessel, that whatever appeared here has been moving from, but it does need to be contained. I'm pretty sure I have something. And because it's just the three of us here, you see that he's quite candid about what he says next. I do believe I have something within my tones of an incantation to seal larger magical effects. So,
whoa, what's with tomes incantations?
Oh, goody. You're gonna love this, Rosie.
What are we talking about right now? Rosie's a little lost right now.
Yeah, Rosie, you think this is like the world. You're like, yeah, this is like you think Rosie thinks that Rosie's frame of reference is the real world
Yes.
for us, the viewers.
These
and
people just
these two are about to say,
about
actually, no, thank you.
fantasy novel stuff, and it's like, look, if we're out here to LARP, I didn't really bring a costume or anything, but
Dang, Rosie's a LARPer? Incredible.
I mean,
Please continue.
unfortunately for you, Rosie, the circumstances at hand are quite real. But we do not need them to be a public event. And while you have been so gracious to say that the books that I spend a long time with are fascinating, you may soon find that they might be life-saving.
I'm gonna go along with what's happening right now because I think it'll be easier than questioning it too much.
Yes, it would be
Real.
significantly.
Good. I will need somebody to drive while I consult the tomes.
I've got you.
Mhm.
Tomes,
I would
tomes
like to,
down.
unless there's anything that other people want to do in the scene here, Robert specifically wants to go back to the Paradiso and start flicking through reference text that he might be able to use. He has the intention of going back here, probably late at night, to do some kind of sealing nonsense around this meteor.
Rosie's
Chenga.
just.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, you
Rosie's
go
just
first.
questioning everything she knows about Robert.
Mhm.
And Chenga was just going to get a couple of samples of I suppose, the color drained flora and put it in just like a travel cup that they have in their car.
Yeah,
Um,
it doesn't hurt to touch. No, like, adverse effects come from just touching the things that have been drained of color out here.
Deadly.
Rosie, are you still on the ladder? And are you
Um,
still looking out at the trail?
if there's nothing else, she does start to make her way down, but she's like her eye lingers on the trail, just trying to make sense of like, okay, ignoring what everything Robert's just said, like what could actually have made this like trail down towards the town.
Heck yeah. Uh, yeah, you see that the trail is slow, but in the like split seconds, you're not high up enough that you would be able to notice the trail growing, but it looks like the trail, yeah. Hey, dramatic irony. This is a beautiful little narrative device where the audience knows more than the characters.
Mhm.
You are not up high enough on the ladder to see the trail slowly growing as it weaves its way through the thick of the trees and is slowly but surely inching towards the town. And okay, Robert,
Mhm.
what we doing?
Yeah. Even though obviously maybe trying to follow the trail is also a pressing matter, Robert feels too unequipped to be able to handle this without tools to hand. So he starts making his way back the way we came to get to the car.
Oh yeah,
And unless there is if we're okay with doing kind of like a brief wipe or jump to him being outside the
smash
pages
cut.
of Paradiso, yeah. There is a slam of the almost an Edgar Wright quick cut montage kind of thing. Door slam open, slam shut into the study. Behind like one of the bookshelves looks like it's at the end of the room, and it's almost like a trick of perspective. He just kind of walks around it where there should very much be a solid wall back there, like the room doesn't go any further, and there is a long line of bookshelves and cabinets that should not like geographically fit within the dimensions of this building.
Heck yeah. 100%. Yeah, you all follow down. You walk down. You see that there are tomes. There are straight up scrolls. There are small items, not in like the lab way of items in jars, but just items strewn across the place. Like you see a golden skull. You see the hilt and like half the blade that's been broken off of a rusted ancient like medieval sword. You see all these things that are just here as trophies and little mementos that are fully separate from the shop.
Oh, you didn't tell me you had so much space in here, Robert. That's
Yeah, the rent must
Keeping
be wild.
Mhm.
yeah,
You do think that.
yeah.
He keeps quite flat about it, actually, as it happens, keeping rare books in a way that have the precise temperature and air moisture requirements so they don't become brittle. or decay is quite important. So I have taken great lengths to make sure that the rarer items that I acquire are kept in good condition for future reference.
She runs her finger down like a spine. I didn't realize these little guys were so needy.
Yes, the book restoration is.
They're so
He's
mean.
talking while kind of flicking through. Is a whole process. I won't bore you with it.
Absentmindedly, she says it like neutrally.
Somewhere you feel the the keeper of this world go, dang. Rosie observes
Rosie.
the fourth wall and sees me crying.
Odd?
No, go back to the story.
And I like to think, you know, in a proper, almost video gamey way, like the books look a little like the spells that they have within. This he pulls a particular book off the shelf, and it looks like it was carted around during like a holy festival, like with the powder paint that you would throw at people. It's spattered all over this book.
Ooh.
And he as he pulls it out, small motes of different colors kind of like fall off the edges of it. Yes, this one here was initially supposed to be used for color fastening during a period of time when dye techniques weren't especially available. You know, how else were all of those royals supposed to have such rich colored robes when dye fell out if it was washed more than twice? But maybe that the spell for color fastening could be used in a different manner here. And to highlight a move that I have, so you know why I'm doing the thing, I have a haven with a bunch of different things in it that I can use for specific effects. One of them is a mystical library. If you use your library's occult tomes and grimoires, preparing with your tomes and grimoires, take +1 forward for using magic. Right. I'm going to need a handful of implements from the rest of you. It's fine. They're all clearly labeled. I managed to get a label maker. Despite the antiquity of this space, it's all quite clearly labeled in that like a very 90s like black plastic with the embossed text. So
I
it's
love this,
quite
man.
clearly organized.
Yeah.
We're going to need a handful of different things to go and do a binding ritual around whatever it was that landed in the forest. And I would like to do that before it spreads, if that makes sense.
Of course. Sure. What do you need?
And there is a list, a little montage as we're kind of like grabbing bits and pieces. What's it? I'll open it to the table. What's the thing you grab, Change?
I am going to grab probably some like twine or some like really nice cord that you probably have around to be part of the whole binding aspect of it. And probably a few herbs, because obviously I'll be able to identify those without needing the list for much details. But yeah, anything that would be more the more bio elements of that of this binding ritual.
There's
That's
a
what I've grabbed.
stocked apothecary. You know what this is. Half of it is tea making ingredients. Why are they kept together? Don't ask.
I am delighted, just like running through.
As you
What bits
should.
and pieces does Rosie grab?
I grab literal bells and whistles, things to make little noises with. Maybe some chalk to. Rosie is fully thinking like, okay, so we're going full on into this like whole occult thing, and you know, I had my days where I was doing some like Satanist sort of costumes when I was performing on stage. So like, I know the drill. Let's do some like alchemist circles and stuff like that. So she's grabbing like chalk, so she can draw some stuff. She's grabbing like some small musical tinctures to like make sounds with, like maybe some wind chimes as well, and just sort of setting them about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with all those bits and pieces grabbed, they start making our way back. It's probably night time by the time we kind of make our way
Yeah.
back to the forest.
I'm gonna say you don't make your way back to the forest
Ooh.
just yet.
Of course.
Because as you step out of the shop, not directly opposite, but just like a little bit down the street, as you're walking by, dusk is setting. And with dusk, you know, the street lights are on, everything has that nice little orange glow to it. And with the diminishing of the light, obviously a little bit of the vibrancy and color is going to go away, but it shouldn't be fully black and white. And as you pass by the building of the one gay pub in this town, the courtroom, the building is entirely black and white. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Whoa.
Ooh. Oh my god.
See you soon.
Spooky.
And we'll see what happens.
Hi.
I just been mean to me by just rattling things off that happened in the 90s because I wasn't there.
Oh,
Goodness, we can't do this. We
You.
can't keep like this.
no, this
Welcome
is
back,
like
everybody.
hostile work environment.
Hi, welcome back to Horde of Tales presents Colourless, a Monster of the Week actual play miniseries for Pride Month, generously sponsored by Evil Hat Productions. As we're heading into the second part of this, I will again remind everybody of the general trigger warnings for this show, which are psychological horror, violence, blood, swearing, and themes regarding loss of identity. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta really enunciate each syllable. Before the break, you all went up to the phone tower to have a look at, what was going on, what repairs need to be done. You failed to notice the trail of bleached out color, of drained color that was slowly reaching towards the town. And as you returned back to your home, back to Pages of Pandemonium, and did some research and stocked up on things that you might think will aid in your investigation with the intention of going back to the site of the crash, you walked out to find the one gay pub of the small town of Nortonsbury, the courtroom completely drained of its color. What's going on, guys?
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
It has definitely spread faster than I would have hoped.
I will actually say that it seems to be spreading more and more. Like, it's not fully black and white, but like the door fully is, and then from it seems like it's growing. Like, you can see the black and whiteness going to slowly envelop the building.
Robert strides directly towards the door of the courtroom. Come, we need to make sure if everybody inside is okay.
Chenge is going to follow, but also have a look to see if there's any sort of like pattern to the spreading, to this lack of color happening. Like, is it a case of random spots are losing color and then the rest are catching up, or is it losing color from the bottom going up? They're just going to try and suss and see if there's any sort of pattern that they can discern.
From the outside, very clearly, it's bottom going up. If you're outside the building right now, so if you just want to stay outside the building, it'll take a while. If you want to start like looking around the building, like going into the alleys behind and around it, if you want to spend time doing that, that's no role necessary. If you want to do it quickly before heading inside, if you plan on heading inside, that's a different situation.
No, I'll be going inside. I just wanted to kind of glance around on around the main street to see if
At a
like
glance, it's just this building, and it's just from
Okay.
like it seems like it's growing from the bottom up,
Okie
like
dokie.
something is spreading around it.
Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the prime target for investigations at the moment then.
Yeah. So no role necessary for that, since you're not going to devote like that's you're not trying to push in deeper there. So you guys go in?
Yep.
Following, yeah.
You guys try the front door. Front door is locked.
Uncle Rob, do you have keys?
Does this mean Amanda didn't come back yet? Good question. Do I have keys?
You'd have the spare key, but your key doesn't go to the front door. Your key's for the back door. Because anything that needs to be done, that you could help out with, will usually be like backdoor stuff. So you very quickly go around the back of the building, and the back door is ever so slightly askew. It's open.
Ooh.
Oh, the front door makes sense, but this is a security issue. But,
It doesn't seem like Amanda to leave the back door open like this.
not at
I
all.
know I know I've made deliveries before when she had to step out and she left it unlocked for me, but never open. Like the door's always been closed over.
You're right, Chenge. And he, from inside his tweed coat, pulls out a silvery-looking knife. It doesn't look like it's a standard thing that Amanda James would do.
Whoa, whoa. Hold on.
Oh,
Before we go in
Bang!
with knives drawn,
hold on 1 second, and Chenge's gonna like bolt to their cafe to go and retrieve their weapon.
Everyone's strapped.
hey, okay, hey,
Absolutely. On site.
how about, so this is, if somebody sees us about to wander into this place with knives and weapons drawn, I can't imagine it's going to look very good. Why don't we just sort of like go in normally first, see if the situation's okay? It's probably just like something someone's doing for the festival, right? Like for Pride. This might just be like a huge display piece. So I'm gonna go in first, and we'll see if it's normal first, and then if something goes wrong, we can go in, we can bust down the door, special ops style, MI6, and stab at whatever's in here. But let's tone down the weapons first, if that's okay, everyone. And Rosie will like creep into the doorway and head inside first.
Mm-hmm.
The back door of this just sort of seems like this is one of those establishments where the back, it's a very small town vibe where the back of this pub is like the uh the, the house above is where Amanda lives. So the very back room, the entryway, is sort of like a holding room that then you can go upstairs to the house, or you can go forward and then enter the pub part of the building. So there's like a comfy couch, there's a coffee table. Everything here is in black and white. The lights are still on, and there is the light going to like into the pub area. The door is also like half open, and there are lights coming from inside, but everything in here is in black and white.
Without perceiving any of the danger of the situation, Rosie heads towards the bar, where she can see the lights, and just sort of call out, sorry to, walk in, Amanda. We saw that the front was locked, the back was open, just wanted to make sure you got home safe. And she heads deeper into the bar without informing her two friends outside.
I assume that was like projected, saying it loud enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And Robert's like, oh, damn it. And starts to proceed after.
All right. Yes, you guys are going in. Are you going into the pub part of the
pub's
building?
with the lights, right?
Yeah. It's like further down a little corridor. Yeah.
She heads there first to check to see if like Amanda's downstairs, with the thought that like if she's not there, I'll go back upstairs to see if she's like in her house.
Yeah, for sure. As you go over, you go through the corridor. The corridor has a bunch of like framed photos of different patrons. Like, there's like one big photo of like all the drag queens that regularly perform here. It's just, so there's Antiquity is there, and then there's a bunch of others that I'm not going to come up with a better pun than Antiquity, so I'm not even going to try.
We'll workshop that for session 2. It's all good.
Oh God, no! Because I'm his announce session 2. I have to come up here with a list of drag names. I can't do that.
Do it. Don't worry.
What about,
okay, that's your homework for next episode. I need you to give me 5 other drag queens that perform at this small venue.
Bet, that's fine.
Lovely, thank you. And we've set homework for the first stream. This is great.
This is what storytelling is, kids.
This is collaborative storytelling. Yes, audience, you too. Next week, I'm gonna ask everybody to show me their work. I need drag queen names. This is what the Evil Hat sponsorship is going towards.
Every dollar well spent.
Exactly. And if you don't like it, go
Yeah.
buy the games, and then you can make your own Monster of the Week games that don't have drag queen names in them. But why would you want to do that?
Impossible,
You'd be missing
actually.
out on the
boring.
It's a rule within the book.
Yeah, I'm
One
actually
character
looking at
needs
the
to be a
rulebook
drag
right now,
performer.
page 219. You must have drag queens in the in the story for legal reasons. That's a joke. Anyway, yes, as you guys enter, you pass by this like row of photos of patrons, friends, family, special events of Amanda and her wife. Like there's a photo from their wedding there as well. You get to the back, you get to right behind the counter, right where like the registers and everything are, the things that you would do during closing. And before you turn the corner, you see that there is a pool of like an inky black liquid there.
Oh, like
You're not looking right behind the bar yet, but you're right around the corner from looking behind the bar, and there's a like, inky black liquid that's pooling out from there.
I'd like to grab a straw from the counter and then just kind of like poke at the liquid with the straw.
I'll say you're not close enough to go to the counter yet, but there's
Okay.
definitely stuff back here and like trays and stuff
Yeah,
for when they
anything
need
that's
extra stuff.
long, pointy something, a pen
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, you can definitely
if
just
you're back
grab.
with us and have made our way in, yeah. What weapon did you bring with you?
A sword.
Of course.
Sure. Yeah,
So you
Rosie,
are into
your
cosplay.
friend just has a.
Yeah.
So you are into cosplayer? Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's
but
fair.
it,
the
it's
amount of stuff I just have.
it's all I had on me.
Why did you bring it?
Well, I don't know. Like this is very odd behavior, and usually odd behavior is dangerous. And some of the stuff that's happened around here is, you need to be armed. Like you should know. Oh well.
Oh,
Um. No,
uh,
never mind. Actually, um. Yeah.
I
I just thought this might be. It might give me a bit of reassurance. Like you're gonna see, like Chenge is
Mm,
kind of like sweating a bit.
sweating.
Like, um. Yeah.
remind me never to get into an argument with you. And as we're sort of like moving, Rosie does want to like inch deeper into towards behind the bar and dip her
Have you
fingers in
turned the
them.
corner yet?
Oh, she'll turn the corner. Yeah.
As you turn the corner, you see where the inky black liquid is coming from, and that is the body of one Mrs. Amanda James behind the counter, completely black and white.
Oh no.
All other thoughts leave her head, and Rosie just rushes to where Amanda is and like just checks on her, make sure she's okay, see if she's like breathing, make sure she's like conscious.
Definitely not breathing, definitely not conscious, Bessie. I don't know what to tell you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't touch. No, I
She
guess
needs
it's-
help.
Rosie, um, it's too late to help her. We shouldn't disturb her. When we call somebody, they'll want to conduct an investigation. We shouldn't touch the body, unfortunately.
Historically, it's never really a good idea to invite the police into a gay bar. But
Exactly. We'll probably just call the funeral director directly.
As you're talking about this, yourself, Chenge, you get the same impression here as you did up by the tower with what did Robert decide to call the foreign object?
We haven't had a name for it, I suppose.
Yeah, what would
But,
you guys like to
I think
name
I
the
think I
foreign
think he said
object?
the word meteorite, so we're going to keep it to that
Yeah,
until it has
Yeah.
a
the
more flavorful
meteorite.
name.
Just for sake of continuity.
Mhm.
It's similar to the meteorite.
Okay.
Amanda's body is the most nothing there is here. And you can feel the spreading nothingness throughout this building.
Okay. I'm going to look up to Robert and say, it feels empty. Like there's a there's a void, empty, like the world is a glass, and
We
the
need to do the ritual now.
I agree.
What ritual? Amanda is like lying here,
Rosie,
bleeding out.
there's
Rosie,
there's nothing we can do.
I'm going to give a very list of specific instructions. We need to work together quickly to make sure that whatever is in here is kept here. Robert's face, like the moment that it was clear that Amanda had died, his face became unreadable, thoroughly neutral. So I would like to go and cast to use the cast magic. I do get a +1 because I've got the magic book. But
Ooh,
while we're
lovely.
explaining the rules of the game for the people who might not know,
Yes, please.
we do have a help out as a role here.
Yes.
Since I'm kind of enlisting you collectively to kind of help me with the process of putting this ritual together. Would somebody like to go make a help out roll here?
Absolutely, I can
Rosie's
do
definitely
that.
not in the space to do that right now.
Du-du-du-du-du.
Fair.
Rosie's dealing
Yeah,
with a lot right
cool.
now.
Yeah, I can do that.
Rosie has entered an old movie. Everything in this pub is black and white, and there is a dead body. And the inky black liquid is very clearly blood now that you think about it.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
for me, that was an 8.
Okay. Plus cool. Wonderful. Grants a +1 to the roll, but also expose yourself to trouble or danger. So thanks for
Oh, I
also
love that
putting your
for
neck out
me.
on the line, baby.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll say that as you try to help out, where do you want Chenge to be positioned physically in this room?
Yeah, I think
To
the
help you out.
process of putting it together is like finding key points in the room to attach the string to, and then
Mhm.
eventually we are all standing by feasible entrances and exits to the room. So like
Ooh,
you're
okay,
maybe
awesome.
Chende's maybe
I'll
standing by the locked front door. I'm by
Cool.
the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chenge is like right in the right by the door, but like Chenge's back is to like the main window of the place.
Cool.
And Chenge, you again, hey look, dramatic irony. You gotta love it as a narrative device. You don't see the cracks begin to spread throughout the plane of glass.
Glass.
Yeah, please give me that use magic roll.
Sure.
So you're rolling plus weird, and you have a +1. Did you get a? Yeah, you got
So
a
I
+1.
have 4 by default.
Lovely.
I rolled 4. I don't have any weird, so I'm not adding any modifiers that way. But I do get 1 from me using the book, and 1 from Chengde's help out roll, which puts us to a 6, which is not enough. However, I think I'm going to use one of my points of luck, a finite resource that can be spent to force results to be a 12 or ignore harm. If you max out on luck, a terrible thing, capital T, in both cases, happens to you.
Oh no.
It should say a very fun thing for the keeper to do.
Yes, you look far too
this is fun.
happy.
Someone gets to have a good time.
We use our characters like we drive a stolen car.
Exactly.
Without a card.
So this magic would fail, but clearly something in the process goes to where it succeeds anyway. I would like to use the effect of, let's see here.
Yes.
Because you have the narrative irony going on here, Apollo, tell me which is more appropriate for the circumstances at hand to stop this spreading. Trap a specific thing in or prevent stuff getting out? Because we have
Prevent stuff getting out.
Okay, yeah. The way that we've done this ritual will prevent things from emerging from this room.
As you are doing this ritual, you do see. I think you've magically clocked what Chenge just kind of clocks passively because of how they're built. They're built different because of who Chenge is. You clock that the spread of this bleakness, this draining of color, is emanating from Amanda's body. Yeah. Okay. So what was the like number that you got to with the use of magic?
With the use of magic and make it got to 6, which would be a fail,
And
but
then with
I'm
the
pushing
luck?
it to a 12 with the luck.
Pushing it to a full 12. Awesome. Yeah. You fully stop the spread, and in fact, all the magic, all the black and whiteness, all the bleakness quickly is sucked back into Amanda's body as you have fully stopped this from spreading.
Hmm.
As you fully stop this from spreading, you also start to see, and you do clock this, that the blood that was spilled is also slowly starting to recede back into her body.
Hmm. Exploring very briefly what this ritual looks like, especially for the benefit of
Yes, please
Rosie.
paint me a word picture.
Yes.
No, so we've strung up the kind of twine around the room as like a pseudo magic circle, which has had at key points the various herbs and stuff that Chenge obtained. Even though Rosie is kind of, I guess, in a kind of surprised or stunned state, you are being enlisted into the process. On my cue, I'm going to need you to go and make as loud of a noise as you can with the instruments you brought with you.
But Amanda, the blood is.
It's going to be important. Please, I am begging you.
Rosie, this will help.
Okay. What do you need?
Mm-hmm. And eventually, he starts reading from the book. And I guess it's the brightest colored thing in the room, considering it was splashed with all like the powder paint. And it kind of opens in his hands and starts flipping through. And we see like the twine also start to light up in color, like it has had powder paint thrown at it as it moves around the room. And the moment that like closes, he looks at you now. Make as loud of a noise as you can.
Would it be appropriate for Rosie to act under pressure in this instance?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. She is. She can do this very easily, but she's not in the best headspace considering everything. So it's going to be plus cool, and I add +1 to that.
Yeah. Oh, girl, what you do?
That was Snake Eyes. That was 2 1s.
Oh.
I was gonna ask if I could help, but okay.
Hey, the ritual does succeed, regardless of how this
Right.
happens to
Okay,
flavor.
cool.
So,
So
Just
what are
those-
you doing? What are you doing, Rosie? What's going on with you?
I'm supposed to be listening for a signal from Robert to like just hit the little pieces of metal I found to help with this ritual, but like the noise in the room has gone muffled for her. She's like, she thinks she's really good at adapting to different situations, but this is so far out of her element. She's just sort of like shaking in the middle of this room, and instead of paying attention to Robert, her eyes are on like the blood coming back into Amanda's body. She's like looking at the sword that like Chenenge has brought in, and it's just like slowly beginning to freak out here, and doesn't get the signal.
I
That's
think
so
you
fair.
feel something to your right leg pull under you, and you feel yourself fall backwards. And upon you obviously hitting the floor of the pub, the various bells and whistles go everywhere, making a loud noise.
As you make the very loud noise, you realize that music is such an integral part of worship in so many different religions, so many different societies, because music has power. Why do we use alarm clocks? Because music, when using the correct, we use music in alarm clocks and in lullabies because music in the correct instances will lull you to sleep or will wake you up. And you realize that the ritual has worked in that it has made the draining of color in this space recede, but then the music also has worked, and it's worked in the exact opposite way, and you've woken something up. And you see Amanda's body twitch. She stands, eyes entirely black. Black, inky blood from her mouth, tears in her eyes as she looks and just begins walking. What's everyone doing?
Who is she walking towards?
I walk towards Amanda.
Oh!
I mean, you're prone. Are you gonna go
What was that
and climb up
noise?
Have I been held prone?
In the kind of you falling over, I think you glance up and you see a very almost very animated, the top third of Robert's face in complete shadow, having hooked your back leg to tip you over to make the noise instead. And yeah, scrambling to your feet, I guess we all see Amanda kind of like resurrected.
Yeah, that noise was just a noise of that was my Zimbabweanness coming out of me.
I love that when people, you know what, one thing that I love about being people of color is that doesn't matter where you're from, we all have the same reaction to spooky shit, which is nope, absolutely not in my house.
It's like, why are you walking towards the reanimated corpse, bro?
Stay away.
Rosie is not me. Just to
absolutely.
Back
for
at
sure,
home.
for sure.
Yeah.
In you're moving towards Amanda. If nothing else, Robert puts a hand on your shoulder. We need to leave now.
But she seems okay.
Chenge will want to protect. Can I, since the two of them are together, could I kind of step in the way to protect them both?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a little roll for myself over here.
Oh, okay.
Which is never a bad thing. And that's 2 6s. That's actually a bad thing. You interpose yourself. Sorry, that's quite funny to me. It's never a bad thing. It's a bad thing. You successfully interpose yourself. As you interpose yourself, you see that Amanda, again, she's walking, but you know what? In this little moment of clarity, as you get up close and personal with Amanda, because Amanda is walking right up to you, if you would like, you can roll me a read a bad situation, just to see what you can clock of in her behavior.
Yeah, let me do that. That is a.
I said if you would like. I meant please give me.
that was also a 10. I rolled 5,
hey,
4.
Rolling good.
Incredible. A 10.
Yes.
You said reanimated corpse. Yeah, bestie. Not breathing, not blinking. There is no indication that blood is running through her body. You do see that, like, there is some sort of a wound, like, close to the neck area, like a neck and clavicle, but it's small. And as she is walking, you interpose yourself with her, and she just keeps walking into you. And the second she, in her undead, zombie-like frame of mind, realizes that there is an obstacle in front of her, she is going to try to get rid of that obstacle. And she bites down on you.
Rude.
Dang.
Personal boundaries.
Just gonna try and chomp on me.
Yeah. Yes. You are going to take 1 harm.
Ooh.
As she bites down on you, and you feel there's a thing that our brains do, which is really good for us, that we have the bite strength necessary to bite through a finger, but our brain doesn't let us do that. Her brain is letting her do that right now. And she bites into your shoulder hard and tries to rip you to the side.
Chenge.
Okie dokie. Can I attack?
And yeah. You can, anybody here can do whatever they want, you know, there's no like strict order of who's gonna act when. But as she bites in, she is the most nothingness you've ever felt, and you look
Uh,
at her, and as she is biting down, the eyes are unfeeling. There is
uh,
nothing behind these eyes. And in fact, when you look at her eyes, they are the same black, emotionless, smooth void as the meteor that you saw earlier.
okay. I'm going to file that little nugget of information for later, and I'm going to prepare to kick. Oh, actually, no, I might use magic.
Mm.
Yeah, somebody who wants to, yes, anybody
Yeah,
can do whatever they want in this situation.
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll let you take the spotlight. Go set them on fire, baby.
Yeah.
yes.
Ah!
Like, how dare you bite me? Do you know how long it took me
Mm.
to make this T-shirt?
And
Mm.
as you're literally, as everybody's doing all this, as she's biting, she's still trying to walk
Mhm.
in that direction.
It
And
was
you were standing by the door, so she's trying to leave out the front.
Yeah,
uh,
which we can't let her do.
Well, hopefully, if since the spell worked, she physically cannot.
Cannot,
But
yeah, but we're not sure
mhm.
if that is the
mhm.
case. So for use magic, I rolled 12 and my weird is +3.
Mm.
Okay.
Dang.
Bruh.
So I just die, I guess.
Oh no.
I,
Well,
Apollo, just sort of disintegrate.
um, yeah, so like the magic I'd probably try to use, like it's not something that I tend to use anyway,
Hmm.
but it would be a case to try and like bolster what Robert already did. So that kind of binding, but I'm going to try and get them like to freeze where they are, to like just kind of essentially like they're being held there by their
Yes,
feet so they
awesome.
can't
So,
move.
uh, yeah, you do that. You, in a very badass moment, you meet her gaze, even as she is still trying to push past you. Um, you look into her eyes, and everything inside you connects to her. And it's not just the passive, oh, what's going on here from the coffee shop? It is an intentional, I want to know. And you feel yourself floating in a colorless void.
Ooh.
And you hear a voice older than anything you know in your mind speak and say, are you not tired? And then you're pulled back into the real, into the actual world, where you see that Amanda has just stopped moving and is just staring uncaringly at you in the eyes.
I'm going to, well, first take her teeth out of me. Uh take a
Ideal.
take a step back, but before I do, I'm just going to kind of like right her clothes in a moment of like respect for her, because I knew this person my entire life, and I'm going to say uh there, Uncle Rob, something spoke to me through her, and it's not good. It's old. It felt like eons of, it was old, and it asked me, was I not tired? And w- this is only going to get worse.
Robert's face is still implacable. I suppose that means that it's no longer Amanda Jones.
I can't feel her at all. There's nothing in there. None of her nervousness, none of her essence. It's all gone. It's like
Then
she's
we
been.
can. His voice wavers oh so slightly. Then we can purge this body with impunity then.
It would be the best, the most respectful thing we can do for her. I'm so sorry.
I don't have the magic stat to do this consistently, so instead it's funny. It's thematically appropriate. My cool is my worst stat. So he
Dang.
tries to help you do this ritual to give you the +1 on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's actually pretty good. I rolled a 9 minus 1 to 8. So
Okay.
you still get the +1 on the roll. But I am
Perfect.
also
Lovely.
vulnerable to nonsense.
We love
I
to see
got
a teamwork.
a...
Makes the dream work.
Mhm.
doo-doo-doo. That's a 14, 15 then.
Okay. Wow. Because one of the things in the spell list is banish a spirit or curse.
Yeah. So
Okay. Do we
does
want
it
to?
count as a spirit or an entity?
Okay. So it's banish a spirit or curse from a person, object, or places inhabited. Not a spirit, but as
Mm.
you do this, you do see the color slowly return to Amanda,
Oh.
and it seems to spread from where the bite sort of like it's in the middle of like where the neck connects to the clavicle,
Mhm.
like that
Little pop.
that little patch of skin, that little
Mm.
like not really neck, not really clavicle, like there.
Mhm.
The color spreads out back from there again, and Amanda's body just falls and thuds onto the ground next to you. Now, definitely unconscious, definitely very injured.
Oh.
But you succeeded so well that I don't think you're sure she's dead.
Oh. Oh,
You
what can
did return the blood to her body with the original ritual.
I guess.
So
Mm.
she's definitely
Uh,
unconscious. She's not breathing.
but do I feel life?
Yes. It's faint, but it's there.
Okay, great. She's what's the situation with her wound actually? Like,
Uh
is the wound looking different? Is there anything coming out of it? Like,
apart from just like apart from just like bits of blood, no. It looks like that um just at a glance from her clothes there weren't any like stab or punctures or slashes on her like on her clothes. It did look like the majority of the blood was maybe coughed up
mm-hmm.
since her like mouth and like the front of her shirt is a
What
little
was
bit
open? Okay.
drenched and covered in blood. Like it was uncomfortable. um but now that she's unconscious, you don't think that she's at any risk of rapidly losing blood.
Okay, great. We uh, uh,
We should call
she's
an ambulance.
yes, we need to get her out of this building at
On the phone
least.
right now, just
Mhm.
like
Um,
yeah.
Rosie, if you can, yeah, if you help me, we can get Amanda out of here, and we'll figure something else. Thank you, Uncle Robert. That was a great idea, trying to banish whatever this is. I've never really been, you know me, I try not to mess with this stuff. My mums don't want me to.
He looks at you say all of that, and I assume in the background the call is going through to emergency services.
Yeah, in the
It seems
background
Robert is
you've
fine
put her
with
in the recovery position. The calls
yeah,
come in, like they're on their way. Yeah.
fine with medics being in this place, just not cops.
Mm-mm,
But
yeah.
Mhm.
he listens to Chenge say all of that and does not immediately respond. He nods slowly at you and turns and walks out the back
Okay.
Yes. You
without
walk away.
responding. He just leaves the room and
Mhm.
goes out the back outside.
This is a small town. It doesn't take long, probably 5-ish minutes for an ambulance to arrive. She's loaded up to the ambulance. There's a heartbeat. She's gonna make it.
Cool.
They let you know that she'll probably be kept overnight.
Uh-huh.
They give you the there's a hospital just kind of like on the outskirts of the town. So they give you all the info for you guys should you want to follow up with her.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not, they're not going to contact you directly because you guys aren't the next of kin for her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they've given you an avenue because you're people in the town. People know you guys.
Mhm.
So out of their good graces, small towns take care of each other.
Yeah.
So they've let you know. Yeah, especially you, Robert, because they'll know you. They've known you to be a responsible person. Sometimes people at a drag show will have a little bit too much to drink, and then it's always the drag queens that end up taking care of them.
Yeah.
So they've let you know that if you need anything, they are happy to let you know when she is awake, should you want to check in with her.
I think to put a mild rewind on that, it's this all happens, but Robert does not return from the back garden in case anybody goes to see what he's doing. You would expect him to be with her for when the ambulance arrives, and he does not return to the main floor of the pub that entire time.
Oh, when the ambulance bundles her away, that's the first thing Chenga's going to do, go and look for Rob.
Lovely. Good.
He's in the back, and he's trying to light a cigarette, but his hand is shaking, and the lighter isn't sparking correctly as he's trying to desperately light the cigarette and fail. And it looks like he's been out here for a while. Has he been trying to do that this entire time?
Nathan, are you okay with Rosie coming at Robert with a little bit of heightened agitation and a bit of aggression?
Absolutely. But yeah, he's you see whoever goes to check on him, he's in the back trying to light a cigarette, but is shaking too hard.
I think after we've spoken to the paramedics, made sure that Amanda's been given to the hospital. We got her information. I think Rosie goes to the back where Robert is, and is just immediately okay, what the hell was all of that? Blood, ritual, tomes, magics, the hand. What was that, Robert?
Is she in the ambulance safely?
Yes, she'll
be fine.
She's gonna be fine.
Thank fucking God. He slides down whatever fence is there and just kind of breathes for a bit. He was so stony this entire time.
I think even seeing that Rosie backs off a little bit, but is still just clearly just tense.
Yeah. I'm a pillar of the community. Okay.
You are a pillar of the community, but you're also her friend.
He stands back up and kind of dusts himself off. Yes, Rosie. There are certain things that elder queers need to do to keep their settlements safe.
Robert, when was the last time you had to deal with something supernatural?
It's small things. Dealing with the supernatural is far more common than one would expect. It's just, protective, proactive most of the time. Opening and closing the circle is as easy as starting and ending a performance, really. Starting or ending a book club. Offering somebody a cup of tea and lending an ear, and then them leaving a little bit later, knowing that they are empowered in whatever ways one might think to be able to handle the day. Everyday witchcraft is not necessarily flinging fireballs and wielding magic knives, but having to do some big shit, some complicated shit. Well, we're gonna go in a slow, frame by frame. If this is a little too real, please raise, and we can kind of slow it down. But before Robert performed on Wednesday nights at the Antiquity, and was maybe, I want to say, a good 20 years younger, wasn't even necessarily dating Salvador at the time. There was a rich individual who had a lot of friends who have the kind of style of dress that they would love to go and claim an ordinary bar and turn it into theirs. And they come with faces that look so open and friendly and not threatening in any kind of way. But they have enough things about their presence that you can tell. You can tell the kind of people that they would like. And if you leave them in the bar, and they can invite their friends in, and then it's their bar. So things needed to be done to stop it from letting them enter places like this. And you can't do it in an obvious way, but, you know, setting things up so if they try to turn the handle of the courtroom, the metal is just a little bit too hot. They ask for a glass of water, and it just seems to not actually quench their thirst. Their clothes are too uncomfortable while they're within this space.
You start thinking about the minutia, the small acts of supernatural prowess that you have displayed over the years to safeguard your community. Because at the end of the day, you're here as a pillar of the community, and a pillar has to uplift and protect from the strong winds of life. And you think that you're about to head into a hurricane. Whatever this was more powerful than anything you've ever seen happen. It physically changed the world. And emotionally, it was so draining that for a second, you are thinking like a good athlete. You are going over your performance in your head. You're thinking, what were the moves that I did? Did they go down well? Was I prepared? What can I learn from this for my next, should there be a next time? And you realize that, yes, you put on a stony exterior because it was business, and business had to be done. But I think you also realize that the smallest part of you, somewhere deep inside, was slowly becoming uncaring about what you were doing. And that is a very scary prospect.
Rosie Jones. You're going to want to come back to the pages of Paradiso tomorrow, and we're going to go and have a chat with your relative.
What do you mean?
I think Danny should also be here when we give you the explanation of what we need to do to look after our own.
Why are they involved in this? Are they involved in all of this as well?
He doesn't answer your question. Amanda was one of our best, and she's not part of what we do, but she is one of our, he gestures broadly, he raises his voice a little bit, it's uncomfortable, to just the town in general, one of our best. And I'm not going to fucking lose somebody like that.
Fine. I will see you tomorrow, and throughout the rest of the night, I'll just be wondering if more things like that are going to happen in this town, and I'll just sleep soundly, I guess.
His expression is already kind of cracked, but I think there is some warmth in it at this point. You know what I can do with this, at the very least. And he rummages around inside his jacket, his tweed jacket, and he pulls out a notepad. It's old, and flicks through a couple pages and pulls out a fountain pen. and draws something quite elaborate on the on that page and tears it out, and you can see him wince that he's tearing a page from this book.
I know psychic damage isn't a thing in this game, but you do take some psychic damage.
Mhm. Keep this with you, and think of brighter days, I suppose.
She takes it and she like clenches it hard in her fingers, and she goes to turn away, but like stops in her tracks. Then turns back to Robert and just hugs him. I'm not mad at you. I'm just scared right now because I don't know what's happening. But if you're gonna explain it, then I'll wait until tomorrow. And I'm sure whatever this is gonna. Thank you.
It's not just me. He looks at Chenge. Thank you for also holding the line with me.
Of of course. I know it's something that Uncle Sal would have done, and your family. I couldn't just not help.
As you guys kind of decompress from what you've all just seen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask, is there anything else that you guys want to do as a group on this night? Because if not, I want to ask you individually what you're doing to close out the night.
Yeah, I guess we kind of make our way to the. I like the idea of we make our way to the front and see the ambulance depart, especially since Robert wasn't there to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you go there, you do see that it is small town energy. A small crowd has gathered, and they're just chatting and like talking about. Okay, the main theory amongst the populace just seems to be that it's the power of human justification is such that you will put things together. They couldn't see the body because the body was already loaded up into the ambulance, and they know that she's alive. So people are content to theorize that she probably just put herself under a little bit too much stress with all the organizational stuff, and it just took a toll on her body. And this is that, and she just needs some rest. So people are just kind of chatting here.
I think Rosie is quick to, when she sees people sort of chatting outside this shop, it just goes and says, all right, everyone, we've all got places to be. It's a lovely evening. Go enjoy it at home. Don't crowd up the sidewalk so people can't get through. Happy
Stop
days.
gawking.
As they stop gawking, a bunch of people just go, "Oh."
Yeah. It's a better way to put it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see people kind of go back into the other pubs that are around and just go back. Music starts playing again. People are talking and chatting. As you go, I think you see one person who lingers a little bit and gives a slightly uncaring shrug, like a whatever, like a shrug in that sort of apathetic shrug. And as they walk away, you see that of the drained color of that was outside and like surrounding this building, they were just standing on a little patch of road that had been discolored as they walk away. Individual scenes. Talk to me. Who's doing what as they turn in for the night? Is anybody doing research on their own? Is anybody trying to, what do you do to decompress? How are people coping with what's going on with what's happened?
Chenge will want to walk up and down the main street a bit to have a look and try and, I suppose, map these areas of discoloration. Because they're like, obviously the whole thing just kind of like shook them, but seeing that's like that
Okay.
person kind of lingering, they're going to be like, and they're going to start at that spot and make a note of it, and they're they're going to look like probably like a city surveyor. They're going to be like squatting down, like drawing like little circles with like chalk around where the lines were,
Mhm.
and
That
like
is perfect.
and then like walking
And
around to all the buildings and like surveying them, taking pictures on their phone even, just so they like,
mhm,
okay, I just so this is where it is. And they're going, once they have all of that kind of like documented, they're going to go by Uncle Rob's and just kind of like show him, but also leave him to have a space because he just went through quite a, like, that was a scary, scary thing. I couldn't imagine if that had happened to someone I was really close to.
Mm.
And
You try to get at the door to the pages of Paradiso and he doesn't answer. You get
okay,
a text in a bit being kind of like, please come back tomorrow.
Oh,
that's okay. Changa is just going to send the pictures and say, see you tomorrow. And they're going to head back to their cafe and start stress baking.
Mm-hmm.
heck yeah. You do that, you see that there are little like small trails of discoloration around the town, but not in any rhyme or reason. At
Mm,
least none that you can make out yet, and none that you can make out. It's becoming increasingly difficult to make out trails of discoloration because the sun is setting. It's the way that in the summer it'll take forever for the sun to set, but once it starts setting, it sets
it,
like that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark now, and you can't tell.
Okay.
You go back to your shop and you start stress baking. Ain't that a mood? Kestrel,
yeah.
what's Rosie doing?
Rosie thinks about heading back to her van and just calling it a night, but she knows she won't be able to sleep. So instead, she heads to the sort of defunct building that the kids have been painting their mural on for the past couple of days,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
just admires it. With all this like discoloration happening, she just wants something beautiful and good and like uncompromised to look at. She runs her hand along the walls and just admires what the kids have been doing.
Yeah, it is beautiful here. There is for a town that you've been in for such a short time, this town is incredible for how much of a domino effect it can have on people. You came in and you were like, "Well, I have music to offer." And within not even a year, uh, within not even a year, a kid got his family to rediscover a instrument that they hadn't touched in generations, maybe.
Mm.
There are kids who have discovered their own passion for music and the arts and acting. There's such creativity in this town and all the different cultures. There are families here from Eastern Europe or the Middle East or like North Africa. There are people here that came all the way from the States because they were working in London and they just needed a commuter town. And there's such a beautiful mixing pot of cultures in this small town, but everybody is very distinct. And as you look at this mural, you see how it is a perfect symbiosis of everybody having their own thing, but also uplifting each other with their own thing as well.
Mm.
Um, as you are walking around and reminiscing, and the thought crosses your mind that a domino effect for creativity is great, but what could happen if the domino effect was for something else? And that uncaringness that you saw in Amanda's undead face as she attacked and as she stomped towards you, that look can break down that wall. That look could make this wall crumble in an instant, if not taken out at its root. And as you begin to walk to wherever you wish to rest tonight, a small chip of paint, barely perceptible under the street lamps, just turns to gray. small chip of paint. Robert, what we doing?
Robert, upon returning to the pages of Paradiso, just goes straight into the Haven, and he looks at all of these books. He goes over to the tea station, and a tea set under its own power starts brewing a cup of tea as he looks across all this stuff that he's kind of collected over the years. He collected all of this out of curiosity, just to understand more than to do anything with it, but I suppose it's a good thing I did. We may have to use a surprising amount of this.
Yeah, as you look at all this, I would like you to describe to me a book and
Mhm.
An item, and a computer that you have not touched in probably decades, since the last time that you took on a threat that required a team.
The book is it's actually like it looks surprisingly modern. The external cover of it looks like it would contain financial records, but even though our empath is not in the room, just the nature of how it's shot, or maybe the kind of like under hum of the soundtrack as we look at this book, is that it has some powerful cursed energy within this thing.
Oh, dang.
We don't read it.
Ugh.
One of the items. We'll do the item last. The computer is, all things considered, actually relatively modern. It is a current day era machine and Etherneted in. The desk is so clean and tidy, like the rest of the space is so lived in. But this one is a perfectly organized, a stainless steel desk. Just spotless. Maybe dust, if nothing else. But he takes the financial records book and places it on that desk. And we go away. We see the shadow of him move away with the kind of the shot stays on the desk. And we see the shadow of him move in again. And we get a close-up of the financial record book placed, and the hand goes in and places an item on to the desk. It is a very large revolver.
As you place the revolver on the desk, this computer is similar to a work computer, but it's also similar to a computer that can be accessed remotely, where it's always plugged in, but it's never really on unless the central organization wants it to be on. On the back of the computer is a logo that not many, if any, people have seen. A logo of an organization that was created to monitor and deal with supernatural activities and phenomena within the world, regardless of borders, regardless of creed and nation. The Order of the Watching Star. As it boots up, and on the screen flashes a message from somebody named Eridani. I'm on my way.
He hits acknowledge like it's been read. And then he turns away from that computer and breathes out a long, long, low sigh. This is going to be the most eventful Pride we've had in a while.
You say that, you have no idea what you're in for. As across the town, the pubs, music. It's a Wednesday night, but that's not going to stop people. There's a quiz night going on in one of the other local pubs. You see that in an effort of solidarity, since they knew that the Pride, that the drag show was going to be canceled, they just said, you know what, we'll just do a big old night. So there's a big table quiz going on in a pub. People are chatting, people are laughing. We zoom in on a table where Bunny is hanging out with some of their college friends. These are all like, early to mid 20s groups of people. They have a drink in hand. They're having a laugh. They're having a good time. They're enjoying life. They're enjoying almost finishing off all their theses and getting everything done. And they're just really enjoying being alive. They're reveling in their youth and they're reveling in the community that they have around them. Bunny gets a message on their phone. They have to go home early. These things happen. Everybody gives Bunny a hug. They pat on the back. Get home safe. Love you. Bye, 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 bye. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bunny leaves the pub. Walks down, whistling, humming a little tune. As Bunny is walking past the courtroom, there's a noise from one of the alleys. And slowly behind them, the road begins to just go black and white ever so slightly. There's a chill down Bunny's spine. Bunny turns, looks in horror. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
Not Bunny.
incredible stuff.
Good work, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Oh.
We got a few little thank yous that we got to say before we go. First, everybody, please tell the wonderful people where they can find you. Let's go in reverse order. So, Nathan.
Hi, I am once again your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer, streamer, voice actor, and general internet ne'er-do-well. You can catch me as the voice of Captain Oromar Vale on the Campaign Skyjacks podcast. And you can also go and obtain my wide variety of fabulous tabletop RPGs at theneoncaster.itch.io. Please buy my games. I am poor.
Real.
I love that.
Kestrel.
Hi, I've been Kestrel. It's been so lovely to be here. You can find me anywhere on the internet under the name Hollow Compass. I'm an audio engineer. I edit for the Monster Lover podcast. So if you have a hankering for some hanky-panky for some monsters, you can go listen to that.
Great show.
And have your pick of a variety of monsters we've spoken about on that show. And if you need an audio editor for any of your podcasts or music projects, don't call me. I'm so busy. But thank you for thinking of me.
God, I love that. I can do all this. Don't
But I
ask
won't.
me to do
Not
it.
for you.
Please don't ask me to do it because I can't say no and I will just add more to my plate. That's
true.
me for real. Tendai.
And I'm Tendai. You can catch me on most socials under Geek Chic Tea. I'm obviously a TTRPG performer. I also do cultural sensitivity reading and writing. So if you need anyone to have a look at some of your shit to see if you're problematic or not, let me know.
You're about to cancel me in the middle of a session.
Oh, wait. Sorry. And also, you can find me on. I do streams for D8 Dungeon as well as Fayearth.
Let's go D8 Dungeon. Anyway, you gotta hype up the Irish. You gotta hype up.
Hype up the squatty.
You gotta hype up the Irish gang.
Exactly.
As for myself, I've been your keeper for tonight. Just straight up terrorizing my hunters. Because you gotta.
Mhm.
I am Apollo. You can find me on the internet at Tall Nerd Apollo. I've lost track of what socials I'm on, but I'm on some of them. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch. Though I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus from Twitch right now until I can figure out what my post grad is gonna demand from me hours wise.
Oh my God.
Pray for me.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a cosplay from, weirdly enough, Apollo from Hades too. So you can follow along on my Instagram, mainly where I'm just kind of cataloging. No, I don't know where. Look, I just said like 3 hours.
Documenting.
Yeah, I just said 3 hours of doing English well. I'm not going to do it anymore. Uh, I'll be taking
Not bad.
photos of my cosplays. But again, thank you so much to Horde of Tales for hosting this. Thank you so much to Evil
Yes.
Hat Productions for sponsoring us. Thank you, Ida, for being our producer and being in chat and making me break multiple times. And am I forgetting anything else?
Nope. Next game
I
we
think
have.
we're Gucci.
Next
Thank
game
you
we're
guys
joined by
for
Lola.
watching.
Mhm.
Next, on our next game, next week, same time, same place, same bitch.
Yep.
Next time, same place, same bitch. We will have our fourth player, Lola, playing Eridani, and we'll see what happens there. And we shall see you then. Bye bye. Have a lovely weekend.
Farewell.
Happy Pride.
Thanks.
Love
Happy
y'all.
Pride and sweet
Bye.
dreams.
Bye.